Welcome back to the Campus Life. My name is Sally Sithole, and on today's episode, we have a phenomenal woman. She was born in August, but I know it's not August yet, but you know August is for Women's Month, and she is doing incredible things. Her name, well, just before I get to her name, actually, she is an award-winning philanthropist. She is a model. She is doing great works in her community. Do I have to say that she was also part of the top 16 for Miss South Africa? Do you know who I'm talking about? But yes, she is also a student at the University of Johannesburg, and she is just doing phenomenal things. Without wasting any further time, ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about the one and only Zanele Phakathi.
It's always weird. It's always weird when I get introduced. Always.
Yeah.
Like, is that me?
With all those accolades, you know.
Yeah. No,
First
I
of
try.
all, you look amazing. Thank you so much for coming.
You look lovely. Thank you for having me.
I see the colors are combining. The colors are combinating. Red
Of
lipstick,
course,
all
of
black, you
course.
know, like power woman. But thank you so much for coming through. You know, I was so inspired because recently you won an award.
Yes.
Yoba, can you just tell me more about that?
Yeah. So I have a non-profit company, Powerhouse, which is Zanele Powerhouse, it's named after me. And my company does everything that I feel will make Soweto a better place, especially for a girl child, because I've been there before and, you know, I think I relate more to the challenges that they have. Powerhouse got nominated in the Youth Oat Brand Awards by Pat's Brand, powered by Standard Bank. And we went through a judging process and a voting process, and fortunately we won. We won 10,000 Rand, just by the way.
Really? Can I get a share?
Of course, baby. It's for helping, Haivo.
Yeah. You know, you mentioned something about Soweto, so now I want to get into your childhood.
Yes.
Where do you come from? Tell me about your upbringing. Tell me who Zanele is.
So I am born and bred in Soweto.
Yeah.
Baragwana Hospital.
Okay, the specifics. I like it.
Yes, I was born in Soweto. And from a very big family. I mean, my mom has 5 girls only, yes.
Okay.
And I was the last born for the longest time until I turned 16, and my mom decided to get another baby.
Yeah.
And my baby sister and my older sisters. So I just grew up with my sisters at home. I was a child that always was at home, but I used to be the child that used to sing and used to dance for everyone and used to just be loud. I think that just sums up who I was. And I think when I went into primary school and high school, I really loved sports. I have South African colors in long jump. I was just a bubbly kid that used to run and sing and dance. I can't, by the way, but I love doing it when I'm alone.
And how did the modeling industry come about?
So when I was 12 years old, I watched my very first pageant, and that was Miss South Africa 2010.
Yeah.
Bokang Mujani was crowned.
Yeah, my favorite, you know.
Absolute favorite. And I just loved it. I saw this girl with the weave that is so pretty with the crown on her head. And I told my mom, I was like, Mommy, this is what I'd like to do. And fortunately, I think the next year, my mom then entered me into a pageant in Stopsonville, and that's how my journey started. So when I was 13, I did my very first pageant, and I never stopped then. I mean, my mom has been there from my very first pageant when I was, 13 years old, till my very last when I was in the Miss South Africa stage.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So all those years, what kept you going in the modeling industry? I know it's sometimes not easy, you know, finances and all of this logistics that has to do with pageants, but what kept you going?
I think for me, so I am very Christian based. God is my center. He is my everything.
Amen.
I mean, more than anything, I know I wouldn't be here if God didn't want me to be here.
Yeah.
But my mom has been my pillar, and my siblings, my sisters, and I think just everyone around me. But my mom is the one who really pushed me. I think even in the times I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's too much. I need to be at school. I mean, I did South Africa. I did Miss South Africa when I was doing my first year of varsity. And it was so hectic. That was in 2019. And I was like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. And I think it's my mom and the people around me and the people I do it for, because yes, I'm interested in pageants and all, not really anymore, but I'm more interested in the purpose and what I feel God has called me to do in this world. And that is through my NGO and just helping those in need to wherever I can help, whenever I can help with any resources that I get or any people I know I can reach out to. I do that. So I think mostly God, my parents, my mom, my sisters, and definitely everyone around me that keeps me grounded and supports me.
I love that. And I just want you to maybe touch on maybe some of the challenges that you faced in the modeling industry. I mean, for some people, I mean, you're tall, you're beautiful, beautiful skin tone, right? A lot of people maybe they'd say that I was rejected a lot of times because I'm short or because I have pimples and all of that. But what were your challenges?
I mean, there's a lot. I mean, when I was 13, I was actually signed in New York City. My first ever fashion show was in New York when I was 14 years old. And I was signed internationally, but unfortunately, I couldn't because I was young. My mom couldn't be there with me because now, as I say, she got a baby when I was 16. And she was like, I still have other kids that are not done with varsity, my older siblings. So she just couldn't leave everything and obviously let me go alone at 14. So I think that was one of my challenges. And just in pageantry, finances weren't really a challenge. My mom has always, been able, thank God, to afford me and everything that I wanted. But I think just sometimes the environments get a bit toxic and who's winning, who's not. And I think that's why when I was 16, I really did not want to do pageants, and it was more of my purpose, why I'm doing it, and my NGO. And I think that's when, as I grew up, I found my purpose and I found my why. And yes, I found that through pageants. So I think all the challenges that I have went through were the ones, I overcome them. But more than anything are the ones that showed me what really my purpose is and what I feel God has called me to do. So yes.
Was it through pageant that birthed the idea to start an NPC?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. So, as I say, I saw all my role models. So I have so many role models. But pageants birth the giving back aspect, because from the time I was 13, when I put that search on, I think my organizer at that time, Tsakani Mangwane, she's like my big sister. I love her so much. She's the reason, I got into giving back. When I did Little Miss Dobsonville, I got crowned. And then we started doing charity work together. And she's like, as a queen, this is what we do. Because now you have the power of the sash and you are able, when you speak, they listen to you. So then you do that to help other people. And we started doing that when I was 13. And I really felt in love with the giving back part of it. I mean, my mom's a school principal in a very unprivileged school. And she's been giving back from, the time I've known her. And I think I didn't obviously know it by then, but as I grew up, I could see this is a family thing. Like, this is something I was born into, the giving back. And so, and when I was 18, I could officially register my company. And with that, help a lot of people get on board to sponsor me and help in need. So,
And one of the projects that you are doing under your NPC is Take a Girl to Matric Dance.
Yes.
And for me, it resonates with me so much, because when I was doing my matric, actually they were, because I was like, I'm not going to go because I can't afford.
Yeah.
But there were ladies who actually came and helped me to like, no, don't worry, we got you. We can get you a dress, shoes, everything.
Course.
And so I understand how long that can go. So now also there was this story, I don't know if it's a story or a proverb that I read, that every single girl needs to wear 5 dresses, and in a particular order. You start with your your matric dance, then your graduation, then your wedding dress, if I'm not mistaken, and then your maternity dress. I think I'm forgetting one. What is the other one? But there is another one, right? So in that particular order, that's a 21st dress as well. In that particular order. So they say that you can't wear maternity dress before the matric dance, vice versa and all of that. So what actually motivated you to actually start this project, to say, let me take girl child to matric days?
Yeah. So I'd like to say so myself, I've been very blessed and very privileged. As I said, like from the time I was 13, my mom afforded me so many opportunities. And because I'm from Soweto and the environments that I'm from, other people that are around me, even the friends I used to play with, couldn't afford that or couldn't be able to do that. And as I grew up, it's something that I saw. And, you know, I'm just bridging the gap between that. But also, I'm academic as well, so, and I feel like it's nice for someone to be very academic, but that one night is the one night where, you know, you just feel nice and you feel very beautiful. And I think what it does to someone when they first have a full face of makeup or a weave or like nice braids and a dress, like the mindset that changes and they want to see themselves or being able to afford themselves to do that for themselves. That's what really motivated me to do that. And I think when I went to matric dance, you know, as I say, I could afford everything and I could see the other girls, you know, even if they wouldn't say that they couldn't afford, they were like, oh, I'm just not coming. Yeah, and because I have the resources and I have people in place that can help with that, as I said, whenever I see a gap and I feel I can fill it in, then I definitely do that. But yeah, with the matric dance, I think it's the really one day you know, it's like a trip at school, man. I feel like every kid should be afforded that opportunity. I mean, yes, we study and that's a lot, but you must be relaxed and have that other aspect of realization.
And create memories.
And yeah, exactly. And matric only comes once. I mean, even if you don't do well or you want to upgrade, you're not going to go back to school. That's literally your last day of school. So yeah, that's how I chose matric dance. And I hope as I grow, maybe I'll be able to do that for a boy child as well.
Yeah, because there's a lot of conversations about, you know, a boy child being neglected, but that's a conversation for another day. That's a conversation for another day. So now, Miss South Africa, girl. Miss South Africa.
So Miss South Africa has always been a dream of mine. As I said, the first ever pageant I watched was Miss South Africa. So when I was 20 years old, I was doing my first year in varsity. And I remember that year was very nice because, okay, so now in Miss South Africa, when you enter, you need to enter online and everyone needs to see that you've entered. Fortunately, when I entered when I was 20, no one knew. So no one knew you entered. You just enter online, you enter what you do. There was no video you even take. You just write why you want to be Miss South Africa and everything. And as I say, it's always been a dream of mine. And in my head, I was like, there's no way I'm going to be part of Miss South Africa. I'm 20 years old. And you know what? Let's just try anyway. No one's even going to know that I entered. On that day, when I got a call that I'm part of a semi-finalist for Miss South Africa, I was from home, Dobsonville, to school because I stayed at the University of Johannesburg for like 4 years of my life. I was in a taxi. And Stephanie Will, Miss SACO, calls me and she's like, hey, Zanele, you've made it to the Miss South Africa Top 35. And I'm in a taxi, I want to scream and I'm looking. And then she's like, you can't tell anyone, even if you feel your mom is going to tell people, it's a secret until you guys come for your interviews. Oh my gosh. Immediately when I dropped that call, I called my mom. It's like, Mommy, we made it to Miss South Africa. And my mom was so confused, like, Miss South Africa. How? And you're doing that after we graduate, what's happening? And obviously, you know, as I say, she's my number one supporter. So immediately after that, supported me. And I made it through to the finals. It was actually Zozubini's year.
Oh.
So yeah.
How was this journey like though?
Absolutely amazing. I think as a 20-year-old who literally, I didn't even know it then, but I was sitting with the Miss Universe for the longest time. I mean, 3 months. We sat at the Meslo Hotel for 3 months in that year, and I was a baby. I mean, I see it now. I was like, literally, I was a baby. I was 20, so yeah, I think it was a very huge achievement for me. So much growth has happened, so much to see. And we don't know, maybe in the near future, we'll go back to Miss South Africa and go take my crown.
Okay, yes, girl, we'll be voting, we'll be rallying behind you. You're doing amazing things. But one thing I should not forget about is that you're also, as much as you have a lot on your shoulders and a lot that you're busy with, but you're also a student.
Oh my gosh, yes. So I just graduated. In April.
Congratulations,
thank
by the
you.
way. Congratulations.
So I graduated. I did business information technology, and I'm currently doing my advanced diploma in business information technology. Quite hectic. I passed all my modules first semester, so I'm left with like 3 modules that I'm done.
Yeah.
Then I'll never be in school again. I don't like school.
So you won't do a master's?
Actually, no.
PhD?
But so in the Yoba Awards, the Youth Owned Brand Awards, I actually won a bursary to go to Wits Business School. So I'll definitely be doing that. So I'll be doing a course in like business analysis or something, because I'm really passionate about the IT space, and I think that's why. You know, I went through that. I mean, programming is a bit hard, but we do it anyway.
You know, for students who are probably watching this interview right now, and like, I'm finding so much inspiration from you, from the work you're doing in the community, for you, just your life, you know, the investment you're making into your career as well. But how are you managing with like time management? You're in school, you know, assignments, tests, it's exams. It's not anyone's, you know, it's not a piece of cake. But how are you managing? Like, how would you advise them in terms of like time management to be like, this is how you can go about it? I mean, you did mention that you were doing Miss South Africa in your first year. First year is tricky because it's still new to the environment of the university. You don't know what's happening, where, how, you know. So how did you actually navigate that?
So from the time I was young, I've always been someone who does a lot. As I said, from the time I was young, my mom used to want to put me in spaces that were gonna set me up to win. So as I said, I was doing sport. If there was a play at school, I would be the girl who is acting there. Every weekend, I used to have a pageant. Every after school, I used to have modeling practice, and my modeling practice was in Pretoria. I stay in Soweto. So, you know, and I think my mom just instilled a working system for me from the time I was young. I knew I needed to work in order to get certain things. I knew I had to work, and I need to make things work. So I think I just grew up like that. But I just think that if you're watching this and you're a student and you're struggling, maybe just put your priorities. Like when you know you need to do an assignment is due, then cut down. And also, we are not the same as people, so there's so much you can take. So don't want to be like someone because that one is doing, because you don't know. Like as I say, I'm also from a family that's very supportive. I didn't drive myself until I was like 22. Literally, my mom and my siblings used to drive. So even then, maybe I'd be studying in the car or doing something else. You know, so if the people around you are gonna support you, that would be great. But you know, not everyone is as that privileged. But I think just have your priorities straight, do what needs to be done, and just get the work done. Don't procrastinate. I mean, sometimes I struggle, but you know, I still get things done. So I think that's the thing. Just do it. Definitely. Start now. If you want to do something, start. If it fails, do another thing. I mean, I had another NGO before Power House. Didn't really work out for me. But here I am, really working good. It's a multi-award winning NPC. I am an award-winning, multi-award-winning, you know, girl. So I just think, just put in the work and everything will fall into place.
Yeah. You know, okay, you know, the future is looking so bright. But I must ask though, how do you think the future is looking for you?
For me?
What are the plans? What are you going to be seeing in the future?
A shame. So I don't know. I mean, I work full time now. I'm at work, but I think my future is going to be exactly what God wants it to be. I normally don't plan because I get disappointed. And also, I just believe that my life is exactly how God wants it to be. And whatever I think for myself is nothing compared to God wants for me. So if I say I want to be Miss SA, God is like, girl, you're going to be Miss Universe. So I think like that. Like, so I can never think as big as whatever God wants for me. So I do obviously have certain goals, you know, that I'm things that I'm working towards, but God always blows my mind. So let's see what he has in store for us.
Definitely. And what would you say to the 10-year-old Zanele?
Oh, baby. Ooh, by grade 4. I'm so proud of you. She had no idea she would be a model. A model me. But yeah, I'm so proud of you. You're doing so well. And thank you for not being hard on yourself.
Yeah.
You were exactly where you need to be at that time, and you are exactly where you need to be now. I'm never hard on myself because, as I know the plans God has for me, it's way beyond me. So yeah, I think to the 10-year-old me is, even the 10-year-olds watching this, or like the people in campus, 25, whatever age you are, you're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Definitely.
And yeah, don't be too hard on yourself. Whatever might happen to someone now. And when things happen to people around you, that means God is in the neighborhood.
Of course, so, like you're next on the line.
Yeah, next on the line. So yeah.
No, I love that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Zanele Phakathi. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I absolutely enjoyed today's episode. Thank you so much for coming through. An multi-award winning philanthropist, a lady who has been on a magazine cover, a lady who's just doing tremendous things in the community. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
With your things that you're doing. We want to see you there, up there.
Definitely.
Taking over in the IT industry, women in the
Definitely.
IT industry. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we leave it for today's episode. Please do not forget to share and subscribe with your family, and so that you don't miss out on any other episode. Until I see you next time, my name is Sally Sithole. This is the Campus Life. Goodbye.
The University of Johannesburg, the future reimagined.